Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Syndicate Discourse. It is Wednesday night. It is 6:35 in the Central Standard Time, whatever. And tonight we're going to be talking about a great movie that I think has picked up a lot of fans over the last 40 years, even though it didn't do so well in the theater. Thanks, ET. Anyway, it's has been rated, I think, our number one horror movie before out of all horror movies. We've done so many lists on the horrorsyndicate.com, and we're talking about John Carpenter's The Thing, of course. And it is one of the best horror movies ever made, in my opinion. Oddly enough, it's not my favorite Carpenter movie, but I do think it's better than my favorite, which is Prince of Darkness. Although I go back and forth between The Fog and Prince of Darkness, and there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, tonight we've got Nathan and Seth with us, and I know both of them really love this movie, and Kurt Russell, and it's we all got the chance to see it in the theater. I believe all of us for the first time. Jared got to see it as well, and we'll talk on that experience a little bit, and we'll talk about the movie, Rob Bottin's effects, the story, because this movie, my personal opinion, is one of the more important horror movies of all time. It was just like Alien. It was a great bridge between sci-fi and horror, and you know, gotta love both of those. I do. I'm a big sci-fi guy, and I love horror, obviously. And if you're with us tonight, let us know you're out there by liking the video, subscribing to the YouTube page, sharing the video if you can. And Jared is here tonight, by the way. I just saw him pop up. So fantastic. And yeah, do all that stuff. Let us know you're here. Let us know what you think of John Carpenter's The Thing in the comments. Tell us how much you love this movie, because it's one of the it's number one. It's number one. So let me introduce the guys. Seth is the first one tonight. How are you doing, Seth?
Good.
What
How
do
are
you
you?
think of The Thing? John Carpenter's The Thing. Respect.
It's an okay movie.
Okay.
No, I love it.
I was just gonna kick you out of the whole thing.
It's my third favorite Carpenter movie. So
Yeah. Third favorite. So Halloween and In the Mouth of Madness. No, The Fog and the Mouth of Madness.
yeah, In the Mouth of Madness, then The Fog, then The Thing.
Okay. All right. Since Jared is not the thing, let's ask him. Jared, how are you, my friend? My love.
I'm doing well. Missed you guys the last couple of weeks. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Your volume's a little low for some reason.
My volume.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got down here. It says I'm using ample volume range.
You sound a little bit better. Just scream into the mic
Hello.
on regular TV. Wow. Anyway, well, go ahead and tell us what you think of The Thing before we get to Nate.
I love the thing. The thing is the greatest thing of all things.
Okay. Yeah. Agreed. And let's introduce Nathan Thomas Milliner, who's just relaxing, maxing, shooting some b-ball. What's up, Nate? How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I keep getting bad connection. I don't know. Let me know if I suck.
You sound good so
'Cause
far.
Okay.
So tell us the same thing.
My thoughts on the thing. It's not my favorite Carpenter film, but it's his best film. That's
I
my
think we all kind of
opinion on
think
the
that,
thing.
right? I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's his best, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
What's your favorite then?
Halloween.
Oh, Halloween, you old softy.
Yeah.
Jared, what about you? What is your favorite Carpenter film? Is it The Thing or is it?
It's pretty close between Escape from New York and
Oh.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh God. Okay, so we'll just mute Jared tonight. No. Anyway, well, welcome
Russell
everyone.
Man.
That we're all here. It's been a long time since we've had the whole team here. Still feels like we need Keith, but maybe one day we'll have Keith back on the show. So, Nate, do you want to go ahead and get right into your reviews?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm on my phone, so I have to go to my photos to find it. So we'll see if
Okay.
this works.
Well,
I
let's
may
give it a
not be able to
shot.
see you all, but
I'll put the image up
all
now
right. Let's
and
see here.
do Nate's Amazon
Resume.
reviews.
Okay. There weren't a lot, so I pulled Amazon and I pulled the original reviews from 1982
Oh wow.
because they hated it. Uh, so this is a new Amazon 1 star. Truly awful. Let's see. It seems to take place mainly in the dark, so you can't actually see a lot of the picture. It has no ending. How irritating is that? The end of the movie story is where there is resolution, but not in this movie. There is a non-ending, so you can ask, what does that mean? As if it were actually profound. It isn't. It's just unfinished. There's lots of gross special effects for those who like that. I think this is a love it or hate it kind of movie, and I hate it.
That's too bad.
Let's see. Here's a Amazon 1 star. Please don't confuse this terrible movie with the 1951 masterpiece. Um, Lots of pointless blood and gore. I would have to be court ordered to see this movie again.
Pointless, huh?
All right, these are reviews from 1982. This version is so full of the thing that it strangles our imagination and becomes a mere exercise in highly mechanical horrifics. Very dumb, very disappointing. The thing is like the howling, a showcase for fiber and latex and the produced by and for people who know. Director John Carpenter has tried very hard to recreate some of the horror of the 1951 original, but this is 1982, and like everything else in life and movies, a simple story is overloaded with technology. In this case, special effects. The scary
Mm.
original about men trapped with an alien force in the Arctic never really showed the thing until the very end. This version is so full of the thing that it strangles our imagination and becomes a mere exercise in ugly mechanical. I said that one. Okay, the thing is more parts suck and slither and slime than anything seen on the screen since Alien. But that movie, like the one this is a remake of, depended for its effects on a collaboration between the imagination of both technicians and audience. It was what people thought they saw which frightened them. That and the visual and psychological authenticity created to support their fear. The thing is like the howling. I already said that. Okay, such a pity. John Carpenter is too gifted a film movie maker to let nauseating special effects take over his biggest film. But that's what happened in The Thing. The creature attacks his victims from the inside, causing them to erupt in stomach-churning displays of flesh and bones. Howard Hawks' 1951 The Thing is vastly superior. The Thing is a great barf bag movie, all right, but is it any good? I found it disappointing for two reasons: the superficial characterizations and the implausible behavior of the scientists on that icy outpost. Characters have never been Carpenter's strong point. He says he likes his movies to create emotions in his audiences, and I guess he'd rather see us jump 6 inches than get involved in the personalities of his characters. This time, though, despite some roughed out typecasting and a few reliable stereotypes, the drunk, the psycho, the hero, he has populated his ice station with people whose primary purpose in life is to get jumped on from behind. The few scenes that develop characterizations are overwhelmed by the scenes in which the men are just setups for an attack by the Thing. The Thing is basically then just a geek show, a gross out movie in which teenagers can dare one another to watch the screen. There's nothing wrong with that. I like being scared, and I was scared by many scenes in The Thing. But it seems clear that Carpenter made his choice early on to concentrate on the special effects and the technology and to allow the story and people to become secondary. Because this material has been done before and better, especially in the original The Thing and in Alien. There's no need to see this version unless you are interested in what the thing might look like while starting from anonymous greasy organs, extruding giant crab legs, and transmuting itself into a dog. Amazingly, I'll bet that thousands, if not millions, of moviegoers are interested in seeing just that. John Carpenter's The Thing is a foolish, depressing, overproduced movie that mixes horror with science fiction to make something that is fun as neither one thing or the other. Sometimes it looks as if it is aspired to be the quintessential moron movie of the 1980s, a virtually storyless feature composed of lots of laboratory concocted special effects, with the actors used merely as props to be hacked slash disemboweled and decapitated, finally to be eaten and then regurgitated as, guess what, more laboratory concocted special effects. Like all such movies that don't trust themselves to keep an audience interested by legitimate dramatic means, the theme shows us too much of the thing too soon, so that it has no place to go. It plods in circles from one mock horror effect to the next. The Thing, which opens today at the Ravioli and other theaters, is too phony looking to be disgusting. It qualifies only as instant junk. Pointless remake of the 1951 by the usually overrated John Carpenter. There you go.
So now I love the Friday the 13th movies, but I bet all these reviewers think Friday the 13th is a masterpiece compared to this, when this is in fact a masterpiece in my opinion. So whatever. We got some good comments in there. Pointless blood. I don't think the blood was pointless. Frankie says, just tuned in. Exactly how big is this guy's clown shoes? All of them. Carpenter overrated? Yeah, right.
These those were mostly the professional critics from 1982. So Roger Ebert and the Variety and L.A. Times, shit like that. All proven wrong after history, because a lot of people say, you don't know if a movie's a classic. You have to wait 20 years. And this movie, the opinion has totally changed on it.
Yeah. It, like I said in the opening.
But Halloween, they hated Halloween when it first came out, but one critic said, "No, this is like Alfred Hitchcock shit," and they went, "Oh, you're right. We're wrong. Good catch."
No backtracking. So I think we all got the chance to see The Thing in the theater. I wanted to get kind of an idea of what everybody's experience was like, because I know Jared got to go after they fixed the problems, which I don't remember what they were. Seth, do you remember what the problems were?
Yeah, it was the aspect ratio, and it was a low quality version, right, Nate?
Yeah, it was like 1080p DVD. A lot of I noticed it a lot. I remember I texted you guys because I was like, man, I don't remember the thing being this out of focus. Like, so much was soft focus.
Yeah.
And I was like, and the sound didn't seem that great. And then the very next day, Mick Garris gets online and says, man, the soft focus and the low quality and the wrong aspect ratio and the bad audio. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I noticed. And they made such a stink over it that they actually did something about it. So Jared was the lucky one that got to see it properly.
Waited till Wednesday. We all saw it on that Sunday, I believe, which was Father's Day. Yeah, Jared, how was it? High def and all that stuff. I'll be honest, I didn't notice all that much. I was more kind of concentrating on trying to enjoy the movie for what it is, because I love that movie. And then I took my girlfriend to see it for her first time, and she saw it for her first time in the theater, which I was very happy that I got to show somebody in the theater. My kids got to see it last night. But Jared, tell us about your experience while I walk away.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things you guys were discussing after you guys all watched it that weekend. So that was...
I can barely hear you, Jared.
That was one of the things you guys were discussing after you saw it that weekend. So that was immediately one of the things that I was looking at when I saw it in the theaters. But it looked great. Like the special effects popped. Like any of the what you guys were calling fuzzy images and stuff. None of that stuff was there. Like, I'm just disappointed that you guys didn't get to see it the way that I saw it, I guess. But I had no problems watching it whatsoever. I even had ladies laughing next to me when some of the special effects happened. Pretty sure they hadn't seen the movie before, but
that's good. I know the guy sitting next to me didn't seem like he had seen it before either, so it was nice getting genuine reactions. Meanwhile, Sherry's kind of stoic over there and being pissed off about the dogs. Uh, Seth, how about your experience?
It was fun for me. I got together with some buddies and we drove down. It was an hour to and an hour back.
That's commitment.
Yeah, but it was great seeing it on the big screen. You know, it was just really something. Like you
Yeah.
said, I didn't really notice the issues so much. I was just kind of like in the moment, just enjoying it, seeing it on the big screen. You know, it was a lot of fun, and it led to and we had a really long conversation on the way back, talking about the ending and all that, and it was a fun time, man.
Something we're definitely going to be talking about this evening is the end of the thing. And I can't wait to find out where everybody stands on who's the thing, who's not the thing, or is anybody the thing. My kids have some insight to that as well after last night. So, Nate, let's hear about your experience, and then we'll move on to talk about the movie. Did you go?
Well, yeah, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went alone. I was going to take my daughter, but I can't remember what was going on. I think she had something going on. So I went alone, and like I said, I enjoyed seeing it because I'd never seen it on the big screen. But I was just kind of distracted by so many soft focus shots that I was kind of like shocked. I was like, it made sense that it was wrong because when I was watching, I was like, there's no fucking way John Carpenter and Dean Cundy would have let this go through. They would have reshot this. Like, it was so out of focus so many times that I was kind of like, wow, I never noticed this, and because I had never seen it that poorly, really. So, but other than that, I mean, it was still fun to see it on a big screen in a theater properly, But again, it wasn't, even if it wasn't the best quality. But I knew that because I'd gone to see classic films. People say, "Oh, there's no big difference," seeing it on a big screen. Like, I've seen movies that I've seen 100 times suddenly on a big screen, and I notice and hear things I never noticed before.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen on this, other than negatively. Like, oh, that doesn't look good, and that's out of focus. And I think so. Yeah. So Mick Garris, all them were right to call foul.
Especially for the Wednesday crowd. The Wednesday crowd got the better edition than we did. But personally, I'm still happy I got to see it in the theater because that's just another, check off my box of movies I want to see in the theater. So, but yeah, so let's jump in to the thing. I'm not sure where you guys want to start. You want to go by? I mean, we could start off talking about how great the special effects are, if you'd like, or Ennio Morricone's score, how good that is. Seth,
I found out that Morricone got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah. He just froze.
Bless you.
Huh?
Seth was
found out that Morricone was nominated for a Razzie for that.
What?
Really? That's a pretty good score. I didn't realize it was him until I saw his name pop up a couple of years ago. I don't know why, but I'm looking right at Jared. What do you think of the score, Jared?
It's amazing. Like,
Does it deserve a Razzie?
There's lots of movies that I don't think even deserved a Razzie nomination, but I mean, the score alone didn't deserve one. But just that, it's so simplistic. And I don't know if there's where it cuts off what Carpenter does versus what Morricone does, because some of that stuff feels exactly like what Carpenter does too. I think that's where the music sounds seamless throughout of it, and it's like that. The very beginning, it's like that drum beats. Dun, 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 dun.
I think it's all I think it's all Morricone. He just intentionally made it sound like Carpenter's music, from what I understand.
Yeah, you can almost not tell a difference because I
Yeah,
always thought it was Carpenter until I paid more attention
I
to the credits.
I had no idea until Morricone did the Hateful Eight, and they use unused tracks from the soundtrack in the Hateful Eight for the thing, and Morricone did the thing Hateful Eight
Hmm.
score, and that's what's funny is he did the score for Hateful Eight, and won the Oscar finally, but he got a Razzie for the thing somehow.
How long have the Razzies been around?
But like I noticed, I never noticed. I knew that the Hateful Eight was an homage to the thing in some ways, and Rio Bravo and all that. And but I watched the original. There's that scene where they keep yelling at people to close the door. They had that in the thing in 1951. I was like, cut the door. They had that in the Hateful Eight to keep telling everybody to shut the damn door. It's a blizzard outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was just looking, by the way, the Razzies have been around for 42 years. So I was curious because I wanted to know, like, if it won in 1982 or later on, or so. I don't know. I don't know how the Razzies work very well. Rest in peace, Siskel and Ebert. They were great film critics, but this movie is sometimes proof critics don't know how good a movie is. That's true.
I think Siskel actually liked this one.
Yeah.
Did he?
Ebert was the one that didn't like it. Yeah.
And that's kind of weird too, because I watched a lot of Siskel and Ebert, and Siskel's always the one that's very harsh on horror, while Ebert's the one that's more open to it. And when I've been rewatching some of the old episodes and on YouTube, and it just kind of surprised me to hear it.
They flip flopped.
Yeah,
I thought they were both harsh on horror.
Yeah.
I watched them a few times growing up, but not often enough.
They
were.
They hated slashers with a passion. Yeah. They were totally against slashers, but I mean, with Ebert, he was a lot more open to horror movies. He recommended it. I think even New Nightmare. You know, he was.
I remember Ebert gave Devil's Rejects a positive review. I remember being shocked by that. He said for the movie that Rob was wanting to make, he made it right. He did a good job. I was like, wow.
Look where we're at now, Rob.
Let's not talk about that guy right now.
Jeez.
Oh, Rob Zombie. Yeah, I thought about bringing up the Monsters trailer. If anybody's out there watching, let us know what you think of the Monsters trailer. I'm just curious. We all saw it, I think, today, right? Did we all see it? Yeah. Like, I had no problem with seeing the movie, and now I really don't want to see it. So, I have the thing on Blu-ray. It looks great. I do too. I have the Scream Factory edition on Blu-ray. I'm sure that's what most of us have.
I will only say one thing about that movie. I hope that trailer is a misdirection.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I think it is just kind of like probably just a pandering of the first 10 minutes of the movie. Mm-hmm. And I hope it's a lot better than what it looks like.
Yeah. So let us know how you feel about the Monsters trailer in the comments. I'm curious. So anyway, back to the thing. I really want to hear from Seth about what he thinks about this movie, and then we'll go around the table and talk about. Could just start a conversation if you don't mind, Seth, because you're the big Carpenter guy here. So I think Nate's pretty much there too, but you're the one that is constantly making sure I put John Carpenter above every title of every movie of his. So.
That man fought for that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
He gave up money for that shit.
Yeah, this is it's a really good story in general. I kind of like Nate. I refreshed my memory on the original.
Who goes there?
Yeah. Well, actually, I listened to the audiobook of Frozen Hell, the expanded version. Okay. But it's a really good story, and the big thing for me is what most people always talk about with it is the paranoia and the claustrophobia and just how effective it is with the way it, the story is structured and with the characters. Like, it's a very serious movie because the characters are in a very serious situation, and it's just got everything going for it visually. You know, the score is really adds to that atmosphere.
It does.
Also, the characters, and even though you don't really know a lot about the characters, you know, there's not a lot of exposition with them and their backstories. There is still a lot of those characters, and I kind of wanted to segue to Nate on this because he, after the 40th anniversary screening, you put up something on your Facebook page where you broke down all the characters.
Yeah.
It was really really interesting.
Well, the critics I just read said there was no characterization, but John actually did a lot of work. He got the guys together and rehearsed it, and they came up with all these backstories and these like who they were and who doesn't like who and all that. And they would hang out and make those choices. And I think, as you said, there's no exposition on who they are, but there's just enough for you to understand little things about who they are. Like McCready is a Vietnam veteran and probably flew a helicopter, and there's little things about him. He's not rattled by violence, and he's, you know, he knows his shit. And then, you know, you got the guy, what's his name, Parker, who's kind of the rebel. You know, he's got that little thing where, I'll take you, like, no. And he was like, thanks for thinking about it, though. I love that. Yeah. But and you got like TK's character, who's kind of the youthful guy. Windows is kind of like the high-strung young guy. You've got the scientists and doctors there. You know, Wilford Brimley is so fucking great in this. But also, like, as a copper, the other doctor, I like him a lot. There seems to be, and then I think they're all well defined. And first of all, they didn't cast people that look alike, which is a starter. That's something that you want to do. Like, if I compare it to the original 1951 movie, I hardly remember any of those characters in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some of them, like, you know, like Dr. Venture or whatever he was. He looks like that, but like they don't really resonate to me as much as these characters do. You know, with you know, Keith David, and they all just kind of stand out. And Richard Mauser, what's his name? Clark.
Yeah.
I read that, like, I read that Richard and David decided that they don't like each other because they're the two biggest guys on campus, basically. Two big guys. So they chose that they don't like each other. So there's little things like that where they, I think it's when Keith David goes to take command when Gary is taking command.
Yeah.
And like Miles is the first one that jumps in there and says no. Like, so there is work. There is character work. I did read that the cast, when they saw the screening, were a little disappointed. They felt like a lot of their characterization work suffered because of the effects attention. But I compared it to like Predator and Aliens and Alien, where you have a group of people, and I feel they're all established. I feel like I know those guys. I don't think they're like a Friday the 13th movie where they're just there to be butchered and killed. And when they do, there's purpose for, like, no one dies purposely. Like, it's not just, oh, somebody walked in the corner, got stabbed or whatever. And that's where I think, like, people talk about the 1951 movie, and it is great. It is a classic for its time. It was great. But I do miss, because I had never read Who Goes There, and I just read it this week, and I was surprised how much I liked it. And what the 51 one misses that's so good about the book is the fear of who goes there, like who is the thing and who could be the thing, the paranoia, the mistrust, no one trusts anybody. You know, that's a strong thing in this story that is not in the 1951 version. In the 1951 version, no one dies at all. The worst is somebody gets bitch slapped. That's about it. You know, no one even make a note. They even make a note. Oh, he's recovering from his injuries. Like no one fucking died. I mean, like the thing did nothing. You know, like it was just a big Frankenstein character. Really, it's just another guy in a suit. And so we don't get the morphine or the transformation or the mimicking, and we don't get the mystery of who can we trust and who's the thing and who's not. I mean, how can you say the 1951 is better? Really, I like it, but it's just another monster movie.
Yeah, it's
not
very different compared to the '82 version, in my opinion. And there's
it's lacking. It's like they removed what was really good about the book.
Especially
because
with
the book was, and I know a lot of it's because of the time. They couldn't pull off the effects that Rob Bottin pulled off, and they wouldn't have been able to put that shit on screen anyway. But it was a time where there were guys in monster suits, and that's all this movie was. And and John's like, I don't want to do that. John, even Alien is a guy in a monster suit. Predator is a guy in a monster suit, and that's where the Thing is unique compared to all these other science fiction alien movies. It's not a guy in a monster suit.
The genius of this movie is the paranoia, not knowing who the Thing creature is. The classic. The prequel is garbage. Less interesting characters, interest CGI.
Well, another thing with the original too is that was at the time where the motion picture production code, that the Hays Code, was in effect.
Yeah.
So they really couldn't do really anything but do a happy ending with limited deaths anyway.
And and there's no one. And there's times where no one's really afraid in the original movie. Where I'm like, the girls are still flirting with the captains and shit. And I'm like there's an alien loose, and the girl's like smiling and hi. It's like there's no danger, there's no stakes in the original movie. And while I appreciate it, I'm a big Howard Hawks fan, and I know there's controversy on whether he directed it or not.
Oh, there is?
Half the cast says that Hawks directed it, and half the cast says no, it was Chris. But Chris did say Hawks was there, and he did try to make it like a Howard Hawks film, and he did do it in Hawks' style. And of course, I think it's kind of like the whole Poltergeist Tobe Hooper thing, where Spielberg's influence is there. It's not a Tobe Hooper movie.
A lot of coffee making too.
And even though which is odd enough, I'm bringing Tobe because Tobe apparently was the original director for the Thing, and his version was going to be a comedy.
Of course,
he wanted to make it a comedy, and I don't know about Tobe.
he was a strange fellow. I mean,
he was fired from this project,
which was the same year that he did Poltergeist. Then
Poltergeist came out the same year.
Yeah. So I wonder if he went from that job to Poltergeist.
He's probably better off doing Poltergeist.
Yeah, I mean, considering
which also goes to there's another connection with Poltergeist in this film. The original poster was a black and white poster. It was too close to what Poltergeist was doing, so they made him change the poster for this movie. I don't know what it was, but it was a black and white cover, and I also found out Carpenter didn't like Drew Struzan's paint poster for the Thing. He thought it looked like a slasher film, so he might as well have a knife in his hand.
Oh Lord! Here's a question: which is better, The Thing or Halloween? I think it's easily better. I think The Thing is easily the better movie. Okay. I think The Thing is the better movie.
Yeah.
100%.
Better movie. He's got more money. He's got more experience. He's got more complex story.
I was gonna say the story's more complex. The characters are more complex. There's
got better actors.
Effects, yeah, but I mean,
you can ask 20 horror fans which they like better, Halloween or The Thing.
Challenge accepted. I'll do that.
And I would say 16 of them would say they like Halloween better.
I bet you most of them will because it's better known. So I'm gonna do that real fast.
One thing I want to put, because
I like Halloween more. I think it's better.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's all personal opinion, exactly.
Yeah, that's a subjective shit.
Good stuff.
Go ahead, Seth.
Oh, I was just gonna say one of the things I really like about Carpenter's The Thing is because I really do like I really like Who Goes There and slash Frozen Hell, but I think his movie is sort of like an improvement on that story, and he really kind of amplified the paranoia of that story. I mean, it was already good enough as is, like if you read that story, the whole thing with Blair I thought was really great.
Oh my
like
God, yeah.
they were all concerned that he was gonna kill them if he got out, that he was gonna kill them, which is something I wish that they had in the movie. I don't think that was in the movie. They were just kind of like they just kind of lock him up in the shed. They weren't concerned about what would happen if he got out, but that was a great part of the book, and I think they really kind of Carpenter and his team, they amplified it throughout the entire movie. That feeling.
Yeah, I was shocked in the book that Blair was going to murder everyone. He did not want this thing getting out. And someone does get murdered in the book, not by the Thing, but somebody stabs the cook, right? If I remember right.
I think he stabs himself, right? It was the one that was always like.
Does he stab himself?
Yeah, I think.
He was praying a lot.
Yeah, Macready.
But apparently, like, he was one of the things. I think he was a creature. I think the cook. I think it said that he was, and they were like, "Wow, he's able to perform," and he was praying to God, and but I thought somebody killed him because he was driving everybody nuts with the constant yelling and praying, and I thought somebody finally shut him up and stabbed him. Which maybe it was like the Bennings character when I like Bennings when he tells him to turn the Stevie Wonder off. I got shot. Turn it off. I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the thing too with that story. Is they really made a point, at least in I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read Who Goes There. So when I was listening to the audiobook of Frozen Hell today, I can't. There's some things I know that are different, but I don't remember too much. But one of the things is, they point out is that it's such a perfect imitation that it has their memories and it acts like them, and it may not even know that it is.
It is the Thing.
Know that they are the Thing. Yeah, the guys like Kurt Russell said they had that discussion on set all the time. Like, do we know we're the Thing if we are the Thing? Like, do we?
And they you can kind of see it too with the performances, like when they're doing the test. I think it was Windows, like right after Mac did the thing with Windows Blood, he was like he was relieved that it wasn't him.
There was a lot of sighs from that scene, which is wonderful. And that's my favorite thing about that scene, which is, of course, a great scene, the blood test scene. But my favorite scene is Carpenter's editing of after, what's the cook's name?
Knowles.
After Knowles is cleared, he's negative. It cuts right to him holding the blowtorch.
Yeah.
And then when it sees that, what's his name? Keith Davis' character. It's
Childs.
Child. After Child, it cuts right to both of them holding blowtorches next to Kurt. I just love that editing choice. And then like Gary sitting there by himself, like waiting to be, judged if he's good or not. And of course, when he's good, he has that. I like not to be sitting here the rest of out of this fucking couch.
I know. I laughed my ass off at that part last night when I was watching the kids. I know you guys have been through a lot.
It's
Carpenter has a near perfect record
kind of
movies, except for
down that this movie was.
That's tough.
You're cutting out a little, buddy.
Cutting a lot.
Is it?
I wish I knew what he was trying to say.
I know. I just see his face. It's like this.
Yeah. Let's make the Nate face.
It looks like a great thing he's saying. Like I can just imagine it.
I know it's probably really important too.
Damn it.
Poor Nate. It's all right. Oh, he's gone and coming back. So we're gonna have two Nates.
Dun dun dun. Who's the real Nate?
Oh yeah. Is Nate the thing? Who goes there? You back in, Nate? Nate, can you hear us?
Am I on?
Yeah. You're on.
Hello?
Yeah. We can hear you. I guess you can't hear us. This reminds me of the old days. Nate, it's time to get rid of dialogue.
Hear you.
Okay.
I love that thumper.
Oh.
All right, so just while we're trying to get this straight, I put this up on the Horror Syndicate Facebook page just now. If anybody wants to go and have a vote, which one's better? So go vote. Halloween or The Thing? Okay, Nate, are you there yet? You back?
Am I here?
Yeah, I can hear. We can hear you.
I think.
It looked like you're going to make a really good point, and then you disappeared.
Okay, I'm back, I guess.
All right. Go for it. What
am I talking about?
I already forgot.
I don't know. Oh, well, I was just saying, I just think watching this film, it's just kind of astounding that it was hands, because there really isn't anything weak about this film. Like, everything's pretty much fucking perfect. And I guess they just saw the gross stuff, which that turns people off. I mean, this is a hard movie to watch if you're easily disgusted or bothered by effects like that.
Yeah, because the effects are really good. I mean,
getting messed with or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's probably something we should dip into now, is the how great the effects are of this movie, because they are, like I said, it's like a masterclass in effects work. I mean, holy cow!
You know what blows me away is Rob Bottin was like 22 fucking years old when he did this movie.
I know, right?
Astounding.
It is. I mean, the work
It's
that he
incredible.
did, the sculpting, it's even the stuff like the scene with where I can't remember the guy. I never remember the guy's name, but the head comes off, turns into a little spider thing.
Yeah.
Like that, like just watching that whole Norris, yeah. They got the defibrillator thing, and the mouth opens up, it chomps the one doc's Copper, whatever his name is. Yeah, that whole, like, I can't believe that's practical, like watching that last night with the kids. I was like, yeah, they did all this, like they sculpted all this. This is all in camera. This is not digital effects. It's like CG really wasn't around yet, so it's.
Did you hear the story? Did you hear the story when they were shooting that and it had a big explosion? Because the pieces that they were using for the neck were like melting and putting off some fumes in the room, and Carpenter's like, we need fire, there's supposed to be fire, and they put a fire stick below the camera, and when they ignited it went boom, and the thing caught on fire, and like he goes, it all looked like a cartoon, we all had black face. and Rob's
till after the credits.
What's that?
Did you guys not stay till after the credits when you went and saw them?
No, what happened?
No, they actually had an interview.
I didn't know that there was something after, right?
Yeah, there was an interview with Bottin, but it was obviously later. But it was a special
Yeah.
feature with Botine and the guy that was a part of that scene, and they talked about the fire after the movie was over. It was really cool.
Damn, I wonder if it
He
would've
said he
been
was
on-
looking there, he was looking at the thing burning, and Carpenter's like, "Just put it out, you idiot!" Don't look at it. Yeah, Stan Winston's kennel dog was pretty cool.
I literally wake up at
I want
3
to talk about that dog. The one
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about the dog.
the dog is amazing. Like I had noticed that shot, so I was watching the commentary Carpenter was talking about, like that shot where it's walking down the hallway
Mm-hmm.
and walks into the door and stops and goes towards the camera, but passes and goes into that room. Like that dog did that to itself, and it wasn't like some trained Hollywood dog, and it was half wolf. So they were talking about how that thing, wolves don't really. They don't act like dogs. They don't do things like dogs. So, like the guy was warned, like if it stares at you, be concerned because the way they'll look at you. But that dog would not look at the camera. It would never it did that on its own. It took like 4 or 5 takes to get that shot. But it's a beautiful shot. But the fact that that dog is doing that untrained really is amazing. The timing, it's like perfect. Jed, yes.
Dick Warlock
But
shot.
I love that shot of that dog going down that hallway. Got the shadow turning around, which is not somebody in the movie. It's just, that misdirection. It's not actually one of the actors.
I don't know if I've ever noticed that before. The shadow. I mean, I've watched that movie so many times.
You can't
I'm
tell who
always-
it is.
always finding new things that I haven't seen before in it.
But I love, Blair is my favorite thing about the film. Easy. I mean,
Blair?
Wilford Brimley and his, just the when his gears are turning and he knows more than everybody there. And even when they ask him, he doesn't say anything. He just kind of freezes on him and he kind of just doesn't say anything. But he knows that when he tells McCready, keep an eye on Clark.
Yeah.
Watch him. And I don't know. I just love Wilford's also going crazy, man. He's like shooting. He goes, "You think they want to be a dog? They want to be us." I mean, the deliveries and all that. He's tearing shit up, and then he's like shooting to keep things like, "I see you. I'll kill you."
Yeah, that's one of my favorite.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite
this-
scenes. And I also
Yeah.
like that moment where they go to check on him in the shed, and he's got the noose hanging right next to him, and he's like, "I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like, I want to come back in."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I want to kill everybody.
At what point is he the thing then?
I don't know. I mean,
He could have been. He could have been the
Well,
whole
he
time.
was
and
the whole
didn't
time?
know it.
That's kind of what I was wondering. Like watching it again
he
last
could have
night.
wanted out just to be able to get to the other guys.
Yeah. But the thing could be multiple people also,
Yeah,
right?
which raises the question: can there be multiple
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
The thing.
Yeah, but like when it takes you over, at
Yeah,
least
there's
the more-
multiple things. They all.
You need something? You need something? Sorry, there's knocking on my door. I had to say who goes there.
You got a total invasion of the body snatchers situation where multiple people could be the thing.
Well, yeah, because I don't know how much time passes from when Norris, mutates into the thing to when the other guy, when they're all sitting tied up to the couch, turns into the thing. I always just assumed it could be multiple people all at once because it wants to spread. Like, didn't they talk about that?
Yeah.
Or when
Yeah.
Blair was working on the computer, it he was figuring it all out, and I feel like it did. It could be anybody at any given time. Like at the end, it could be they both could be the thing.
Right.
So
it's multiple creatures. It's like different. Every little thing is alive. All even like the pieces that they're storing are
The
still
burn
alive. He
pieces, yeah.
says, and
Mhm.
and they're all the thing. And I think that's what they're saying. Like, if it's not, it can't just be one thing because it wouldn't be able to take over the world. I think I think the estimate was like 3 years. It would pretty much
Yeah,
take
something
over
like that. Yeah,
humankind.
yeah,
And I like that. Like he's watching the cells absorb the other cells and manipulate
Mhm.
and mimic them, and he's got a stopwatch, seeing how long it takes. And then,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
I just love the whole stuff with Blair, and it does go back to the novel. As Seth was saying, the novel, Blair is the one who is aware, and he's prepared. He tears up everything. He stops all transportation, communication, and he's trying to murder everybody too. He'll like so they lock him up. If they let him out, he's not. He's going to kill everybody.
well. He did. He
Which
also
that's
take?
also another thing when he's huh?
I was gonna say he's tearing up all the transportation, but he's building something underground also.
Yeah, building like another spaceship or something
Yeah.
in there.
So I don't know if like I'm curious. Like he may have been the thing for most of the movie. I don't know.
Well, he was the one getting his hands in there and all that. I'm sure, he's on the autopsies and everything.
Hmm. He had to have been
So,
infected at that point. Yeah, because it like didn't
yeah.
say how easy it was to be
It,
infected.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just every time you watch the movie, for me anyway, you got to think like you could see it from a
Start
different point
noticing
of
every
view.
little thing.
Yeah,
Like I noticed today when is it Fuchs, the younger
yeah.
doctor scientist,
Yep.
when McCready goes to talk to him and he's in his room and McCready's behind him and he turns around, he grabs that vial of acid to protect
Hmm.
himself.
Yeah.
I'd never noticed that before. I think it's like a vial. He grabs it and looks at him and then he like lets it go and talks. But yeah, the paranoia level of it is it just makes that movie. The fact that they just wrote it off as a gross B movie, horror movie in 1982 is just wild because there's so much going on.
Even without the gore, it's a
Now,
really good movie. I mean, like you said, the paranoia, the seclusion, the like all of that stuff. Nobody trusts each other, and one of the best scenes in the whole movie is the blood test scene, which other than Norris, and the other guy changing, it's not like, and it's not like real gore. It's I guess it's real gore, but like they're transforming, they're morphing into whatever. Uh, and it's beautiful, really. I mean, that's the one thing I don't think critics ever take,
yeah.
a moment to look at is how great the effects are in this movie and how insane they are. Like I know that it's a little silly when Windows gets his head bitten by the guy, and you can tell it's a floppy puppet or whatever, but that's still like everything else. Like you can forgive that because of how good all the effects are in this movie. Not good, they're great.
Yeah. I think that was something in the book where they said, well, why isn't the thing killing people? And it's like, well, he doesn't want to kill us. He wants to become us. So we're taking away its supply of, things to adapt or copy. Uh, have you read about like all the other possible casting that was up for the movie?
No.
There was a lot
Oh,
of
that's interesting.
like, do you know who was up? Who he wanted for Burke originally? Not Burke. Is that
Mm-mm.
his name? Wilford Brimley's character. What's his name?
Blair.
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 He wanted Donald Pleasance for Blair.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, he wanted
could
Donald
you
Pleasance for
imagine?
Blair.
not surprising.
I wonder why he didn't
Yeah,
do it.
and Donald was busy. He was doing something else. He was busy with another film.
Halloween 2.
And for McCready, there were a lot. There was Clint Eastwood, uh, Jeff Bridges, uh, somebody.
Sam Shepard, Christopher Walken, Nick
He
Nolte.
thought would have done a good job. I don't think Clint Eastwood been right.
This
Nick
is,
Nolte,
I
yeah,
don't
Nick
think
Nolte.
it would have
He
been
turned it
right.
yeah,
down.
also Tom Atkins and Jack Thompson. Tom Atkins is McCready. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Jeff Bridges would have been good in the role.
It took Russell about a year to grow his beard hair
okay.
out. Wow, there's a lot of
Oh,
names I'm looking here. Tom Berenger, Ed Harris, Brian Dennehy, Chris Christopherson, Scott Glenn, Fred Ward.
Ernie Hudson almost played Keith Davis' part.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Childs,
he was almost. It came down to him and Keith Davis.
There's other ones: Carl Weathers, Bernie Casey, Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
That'd have been wild.
Isaac Hayes was up for
New York.
Isaac Hayes was up for Gary. Yeah, for Gary he had Isaac Hayes, Lee Van Cleef. He wanted him possibly for Gary.
Lee Van Cleef.
That would have been interesting, Lee Van Cleef. I'm looking at the casting right now and seeing some of these names. Yeah, Powers Booth.
Yeah, Lee Van Cleef,
Powers
awesome spaghetti western guy, but I don't know if he would have been right for that role.
No, I don't know the guy's name that plays Gary, but I really liked him in that role because first of all, he looks like a guy that you want to be an asshole. You know, I think he does anyway. Donald Moffat.
Well, he also looks like a guy, like they kind of tease him about his gun, like, oh, he got to finally use his gun. Like, Lee Van Cleef is known for being a gun slinger.
Yeah.
Been like, oh, that guy's supposed to be able to shoot people.
Oh, he wanted Dennehy to play Copper. And then went with Richard Desert. I don't know how to pronounce that. He was good though too. The casting is pretty solid in this movie overall. And any of these actors that were up for it could have probably taken away from the film. You know, imagine if Kurt Russell didn't. If it wasn't Kurt Russell, and it was somebody like Christopher Walken. Could you imagine with that accent? All right.
There's something outside. We don't know what it is. We have to go outside and see if it's out there. Fuck. Christopher Walken. Good God.
Oh my God. So Frankie's been watching the show and he put up the "I kill you" quote from the movie, and he just got it says your comment goes against our standards on violence and incitement.
Oh Lord.
No one else can see your comment.
All love here at Facebook.
That's fucking stupid. I'm gonna flash it on the screen because that is dumb.
Yep.
That happened to me when Keith was on the show. There was an episode I couldn't do, and I was talking in the comments at least, and I told Keith to shut his whore mouth. And I remember that. I got a warning on my account.
That's stupid. That's dumb. It's a line from the movie. Well, you remember? I think.
Yeah.
Something happened with me where I called the Michael Myers family in Halloween 07 just a white trash family. Yeah, I got something from them saying, that goes against our community standards. Like, and then when I put up the top 100 horror movies on the Horror Syndicate page for the first time ever, it was a picture of like a low angle shot of trash with her legs spread open and you know, it's like this is over sexual. I was like, it's a scene from a fucking movie. I won, by the way, but yeah, Facebook, you're too tight. That is stupid. Sorry, Frankie.
There is no me gusta.
I got blocked for quoting Jackie Gleason, smoking the bandit on a smoking any bandit post.
What was it? What'd you say?
The part where he says, "There's no way you come from my loins. First thing I do when I get home is I'm gonna pop your mom in the mouth or punch her." Or something like that. And I got banned for like a week.
That's stupid.
For quoting V for T Justice.
Okay, so we got some comments on the. I put the thing up where it's the Thing versus Halloween. Raymond Brown says, I love both films, but John Carpenter's Halloween will always be my favorite. I prefer slashers over creature features. Brent Peterson says, come on, man. The Thing by a mile. Tracy David says, not fair. And I said The Thing. But with the emoji, since it's easier for people, Halloween is winning 18-13. Yay.
Yeah.
That's stupid. That's Facebook sometimes. I like Facebook sometimes, but sometimes when it's shit like that, it's just really dumb. So anyway, back to The Thing. Should we delve into the end?
Sure.
That's what I
Missing
heard.
anything
Paid
else?
the ticket price for.
Yeah, because I know this is a big talking point for a lot of people, a big argumentative point. So I want to kind of go around the table and the virtual table, if you will, and ask what you guys think. Okay, so who do you think is The Thing, or who's human? What do you think, Seth? Why don't you go first?
I think for sure McCready is human. We followed him all throughout the third act. I made sure I paid attention to this when I was watching on the big screen. We follow him all the way through the third act, while Childs actually disappears for a bit, and it kind of leaves it up to you, the audience,
He's
to
gone for a
decide.
while.
Right,
Yeah.
for the whole final thing there.
Yeah.
So it kind of leaves it up to you, the audience, to decide whether or not you believe Child's story of he thought he saw Blair and he ran after him. But personally, I think that they're both still human. But
Okay.
maybe a little suspicious of Child's, but I'm not quite sure. I would say
Yeah.
McCready is definitely human. Not sure about Child's, but I think he is.
What about you, Jared?
Seth hit it on the nail on the head. Like, you do have this suspicion that Childs is, but honestly, I think they're both human, and they're gonna drink themselves and freeze to death.
Yeah. I know that there's something out there that gives an official who is The Thing and who's not. I can't remember. Is it like a video game or something like that? That's supposed to, or a comic?
There was a video game.
Okay. Seth, did you read it?
I didn't read it.
But you know who it is, right?
Yeah, I think it was shit, I don't remember. I watched a YouTube video where someone was reviewing all the comics.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of them. I can't remember. Was it Mac or was it Childs? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'll look it up. While I'm looking it up, Nate, what about you? Who do you think who's who?
They're both dead no matter what.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna die, but yeah, I think McCready's human. But what's it matter? They're gonna freeze to death either way.
Well, if it's one of the things, it'll just hibernate.
Mm-hmm.
Or go back and finish Blair's shit. Or did they blow it up? They blew everything up?
They blew it up.
Yeah, they blew everything up. Yeah, but he could always build something else.
I personally think they're both human. I haven't really thought long and hard. At first, I always thought it was Childs was The Thing because he just disappears. You don't, because you're right. When they start doing the blood test after they show Kurt Russell or McCready, with his blood, we know that he is not The Thing because you do follow him all the way around, and you find out that Blair is The Thing and all that stuff. And why would The Thing be tearing its own shit apart? And Childs does disappear for a big chunk of the movie, but there's two things that it could be. He was pussing out, or he became The Thing. That's
My guess is he didn't give a shit and then showed up at the end.
Yeah, yeah. There's I know Jared, you might remember we talked about this a little bit with Brian and Lombardo a while back, and they talked about I think Lombardo read the comic, I can't remember, but I think they talked about how something about child you can't see his breath, which is not true. You can.
Yeah.
Like when he first walks up on McCready, you can definitely see his breath in the cold air. Seth, you got something loaded.
Yeah, I think that was just because of the quality of, like, when we watched it before, like it was like VHS or on TV or something like that. But now that we have Blu-ray and high definition, you can see the breath.
4K teeth.
Right, you can see the breath now, so that kind of debunked that. Also, if you want to go by the rules of the prequel, Childs has an ear in his ear.
Oh yeah, that's right, because of the fillings.
Right. So if you count the prequel as it counts, then that confirms Childs is human.
Yeah. So Child's a human. I think they're both humans. That's it. That's all. That's what I think. By the way, did you guys see the prequel from 2011?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoy it. It's just the special effects, man. It's like, fuck that producer who told them to get rid of all the practical they had built.
Yeah, that's stupid. Like, why would you do that based on the movie before, the original movie?
Yeah, and not to mention, they did such a great job, especially with the Norwegian set. Like, they matched everything up perfectly. They went through lengths. Like, they made sure that they had the axe in the wall, like, at the precise location that it was when McCready and Copper were looking through the whole place. So, I mean, they put a lot of effort into really making it seamless. At least the director did. And it would have been too if they went with the practical effects. I think it would have been a really great 2-film combo there.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad movie overall. None of them are really Norwegian, from what it seems, but well, some of them might be. But like, I don't know. I don't think, for me, the CG effects don't play very well, especially when you match it up with the original movie, But I liked it for the most part for what it was. It's not too bad. A lot of cool stuff happened in the movie. Some good actors are in there, like Joel Edgerton. Is that right? Yeah. Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen.
Yeah. He'll always be Uncle Owen to me, no matter what. So, yeah, I wish they would have gone practical with it. Yeah, they had the practical ready to go, and did they film the practical?
I think they did some stuff with the practical. You can at least go. You can find on YouTube. There's like a whole bunch of like behind the scenes stuff where it shows everything that they built.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even there was supposed to be something at the end when they're at the ship, but they because it was practical and they just covered it up with some CGI bullshit of something like floating or something like that.
Yeah. It's definitely one I wanted to watch it before the show, but
maybe it didn't work.
Huh? What do you say?
I said it may not work. I mean, show it to the test audience. I said it looks fake.
Oh yeah. There, it was fucking amazing. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, I'd like to. I'd also like to watch the movie again because I didn't think it was that bad. I saw it on accident. I didn't even know it came out because, like I told you guys on our chat, Elizabeth bought it for me thinking it was the original movie, like a new edition of it. And I looked in the back and I saw, what's her name, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I'm like, she wasn't born yet. So, but that's okay. I watched it and I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, I did cringe when I saw the effects, but it is what it is, you know.
What they tried to do to connect it to Carpenter's a thing I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, so anyway, what else do we want to hit on before we start wrapping the show up?
You guys got a favorite character?
Well, yeah, but mine's obvious.
You got a favorite character that's on McCready?
Mine's
Uh,
Windows.
I was gonna say, I am I the only one who felt
Blair.
yeah, Blair's really good.
I like what's his name? Clark. I like Clark. I like he's a loner and he loves those dogs.
I just like Richard Mauser as an actor.
Yeah.
I
I
like
like I like them all. I love Childs. I always like Keith David in
Yeah,
anything he does. This was his first film, like his first like big role. Like I don't know if it was his first movie either, but like a first real movie role.
this movie was what got him. They Live.
yeah, yeah. Getting a fist fight in an alley with Roddy Piper.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, there's a lot. Though I think most of the characters are pretty decent characters, really overall. I think they did a great job. But Blair is probably, other than McCready, I just love Kurt Russell. But like, I do think Blair is the most intriguing character to watch in that movie. You know,
And you know, and Wilford wasn't really well known at this point.
this is pre-Cocoon.
He didn't really blow up to like Coon came out, and this Coon came out after this.
Yes.
Yeah, and so did his diabetes commercials.
Coon or
Oh, he died last year, 2 years ago. I didn't know that. All right, Nate's gone again.
Everybody has their, awesome characters in this movie, but I always make a funny joke every time I watch this movie. Windows was like, seriously, is the guy that created Windows watching this movie, loves this movie, because he's the computer guy, he's the he's always the one that's telling everybody, okay, we're gonna get fucked here if we do this. Like, nobody listens to Windows in the first 25, 30 minutes of the movie.
No, they don't. That's why I was saying, I am I the only one who feels kind of bad for Windows?
I do.
he's high strung as fuck.
Yeah. So like Wilford Brimley is like tearing that place apart, and everybody shows up, and he's just sitting there with a bloody face and all this, and then eventually he gets his head bitten, and he starts turning into the thing. It's felt bad for Windows.
Yes.
And plus he gets bitched at by like Gary right away when the movie starts. Can you get anybody on that thing? Yeah. No, I think Blair's my second favorite character. I'll go with that. Good question. Any other questions? So I know Nate wanted to mention we talked about the X-Files had a show, like an episode that was kind of based off of this, very similar. And then Red Dwarf, was that what it was, Nate?
Red Dwarf might even coming through. This fucking broadcast sucks.
Yeah, you're coming through.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, my favorite show of all time is Red Dwarf, and they did an episode called Polymorph in the third season that kind of spoofed Alien and the Thing, where a genetically engineered creature that can morph into anything gets on board, and it feeds on the human psyche and emotions, and it sucks. When it attacks people, it takes like an emotion, so it takes someone's anger or their fear or their empathy or their vanity, out, and it attacks all the crew members, and it's fucking hilarious. But it's really cool. But it's totally like the Thing. But you have some funny things. He's like the guy like, take away fears. Now the guy's like suicidal and ready to go kick its ass no matter what, even if he dies. And the android who's all about empathy and taking care of the humans is like, I don't give a fuck. And, kill them all if you want. And it's just one of the best episodes of Red Dwarf. And totally captures the Thing.
I've never
I
seen
watched
that
the
show.
X-Files too.
Where can you find Red Dwarf? Do you have to get it on DVD or something?
Probably now. It used to come on PBS back in the 90s. That's how I discovered it. Like, it would come all like Doctor Who and Blake Seven and all that. And I started watching it around 94. And it started in 1988. And I just fell in love with it. But, yeah, it was on Netflix for a while when Netflix started the streaming service. And I don't know if anyone streams it now. Maybe BBC. Maybe there's a BBC channel. Or...
British Sick. I'm looking right now to see if it's streaming.
Don't know.
Crackle TV. Whatever that is.
I have the whole series on DVD, so I don't know.
Yeah. Crackle has it for free. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, it's really interesting that the Thing has been kind of incorporated into other shows in a way. I remember watching that X-Files. I didn't watch a lot of X-Files. Not really my thing. I know, Seth, you said you love the X-Files, don't you?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Do you remember that episode?
I do.
It was a good episode that kept me like into the show a little bit because most of the show just kind of I started watching it in like 2015 maybe, so I was way late to the party. Although I had seen both movies at that point, I think. So,
yeah, the more the show went on, I mean, seasons 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those are really good, and they get more and more fun as they go on. There's a lot of really fun episodes that I think you'll like, and there's a lot of you definitely see where Supernatural was molded by the X-Files.
Yeah, I believe that. Your favorite show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Supernatural rules.
That's right.
It does. I did, but I only got through season. Did Supernatural ever do a Thing type episode? Feels like there would be a good way to do that in that show.
May have to go over the 290 episodes.
Well, if it would have happened, it would have been like season 7 with the Leviathans.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm not too sure.
I guess you're gonna have to go back through the show again.
I guess I'm gonna have to.
I know that's a burden you carry, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many episodes are there? 327 episodes of Supernatural. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. All right. So let's. Is there anything else we want to go over before we do some final thoughts on the Thing for the evening?
I guess just real quick.
We have nothing from the viewers. Yeah, if you have a question, let us know right now.
Well,
do you have any other anything you want to say about the Thing? Like anything? Yeah. We'll go Blair on you if you don't. So, Seth, what were you gonna say?
Oh, just fun fact that in the book, MacReady was a meteorologist who did actually study to be a doctor before he jumped ship to be a meteorologist. So he wasn't a pilot in the book. And I think this is a part of.
He was like 6'9" and a bronze god.
Yeah, yeah. And in and I think this was only in Frozen Hell and not in Who Goes There. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Nate, but there's this whole thing where there's like sort of like a telepathic link that the Thing gives off. So like MacReady actually has dreams about, because when they first find the Thing, they think it's dead.
Yeah.
But MacReady is having dreams where it's alive and it can take the form of anyone. and they kind of established that Blair knew a lot of stuff because he was also close to it when they discovered it. So it was like a telepathic thing. And then also, like the way Frozen Hell opens up, it's like right when they actually discover the thing in the ice, and they actually the main characters, McCready and them, they accidentally destroy the alien ship, something like that. I was listening to it while I was at work, so there's a little bits that I was in and out of, but just some fun facts there.
Fantastic. Should do fun facts for every show.
Yeah, the book had the telepathic stuff and nightmares.
Okay.
Well, this movie, they didn't sleep almost at all. Like, they were up for the whole time. I mean, there's a couple scenes where you can tell how tired they are. And even McCready says, I haven't slept since Saturday or something like that. So I guess there was no room for that in Carpenter's movie. Does The Thing need to ever be remade?
No. Well, it already has been.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, John Carpenter
already hasn't.
Thing. Does it need to be remade?
It would be in a really tough spot because of how cherished it is now. Like, no matter what they do, there's always going to be that comparison, and I think they just be in a really tough spot if they even tried it. I mean, a lot of people originally went into the prequel thinking that it was a remake, and I remember reading lots of assumptions online about what it was, and a lot of people trashing it because they thought it was a remake. Leave Carpenter or leave the original film alone, as they like to say, for stuff that's not an original film. But
yeah, I thought it was a remake. I mean, it doesn't help when you title it the same as the original or the remake movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like Halloween 2018. I guess The Thing's the first one to do it. Fucking name it something else. The Thing Begins, like Batman Begins, or something like that. I don't know.
Or Scream! !
Scream 6, Scream 2.
I believe they wanted to call John Carpenter's The Thing Who Goes There originally, but that was shut down.
Yeah, I don't know if that works for that movie as well.
He was doing the book because the book had all the shit that wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're going to remake something, like, The Thing is so well established for its effects and groundbreaking that still holds up. You're just asking for trouble if you remake a movie that has that significance to it. Just like if they talk about remaking American Werewolf in London, you're just never going to. That movie with Rick Baker's effects, even though they don't entirely hold up as well as, say, The Thing does. I think The Thing holds up better between the two. But I mean, if someone won an Oscar for the effects in a movie, it's kind of like, I don't know, like, can CGI even come close to that?
No.
Another thing that's funny is that year, 1982, E.T. hurt The Thing, but it also hurt another movie that came out, I think, that same day, which was Blade Runner. Apparently, Blade Runner came out the same time that The Thing did. Both movies were panned by the critics. And now both films are considered two of the greatest science fiction films ever made.
What was the other one?
He said
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Okay, I didn't hear that part. So, real quick, I was just reading. It says a new film was announced to be produced by Blumhouse and released and distributed by Universal Pictures as a part of the former First Look deal. The project is based on Frozen Hell's version of the story. So that was as of 2020. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So I guess we'll see. Let's do some final thoughts and wrap this up. My neck. Nate, you want to give us your final thoughts on John Carpenter's The Thing?
Trying to get some connection. It's been frustrating.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Am I coming through? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I don't know. I don't know if I have any final thoughts. It's Barry said it's his best film. In fact, I don't think there's anything that comes close to, and it's his favorite film, John's favorite film of his films. And it really broke his heart that it didn't get the respect and reception that he thought it would. Because it is like it's just I can't point to anything in this movie that's not good. That's weak and doesn't hold up. I think it's well written. We didn't talk about the writer, Burt Lancaster's son, who also wrote the Bad News Bears movies. I'm a big fan
I
of.
love those movies,
I did too.
especially Breaking Training.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get to say much about the
Yeah,
writer.
it's well written, well cast, well acted, well directed, well edited, well the effects, the score,
Dialogue's really good, and you
that
do get to care about the
score is
characters.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great movie overall.
Dean Cundy's cinematography, and then just talk about how difficult it is to film a movie like that. Like to actually film. I mean, they filmed a lot of it studio, but they filmed in the cold, freezing, and miserable isolation when they did the exteriors. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just think it's
do you think it's as well lit
I
as
think it's
Silver
an
Bullet?
achievement, and it's. I'm glad that it has found the respect, but it always.
Okay,
He's
I don't know
from.
if we're gonna get him back or not. Um, Jared, what about you? You wanna do your wrap up final thoughts?
Sure. Kind of like how all you guys have said, like, I don't think any one of us can say this is our favorite Carpenter film, but is it the best? In my opinion, yes, it is the best. It may not be my personal favorite of his. I lean towards Big Trouble in Little China, but that's, for another podcast. But
Yeah, not this one.
not this one. But it's that's what makes John Carpenter so awesome, because he can sit there and has made 3 or 4 of the best horror movies, at least in my opinion, of all time. Okay, people love Halloween. People love The Thing. I love John Carpenter's vampires. You
I do
guys
too.
love like uh,
The
Prince of
Fog.
Darkness. Like they're in the Month of Madness. There are so many good movies under his. I'm brain farting on the word. Either way, he's done a lot of good movies,
Yes.
but like the fact that we can all sit here and say, yeah, The Thing is not his best movie, but it may be his best made movie. I don't know.
I think it's his best movie. It's just not my favorite. I think it's okay to say that about certain things, you know? Like, I think Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie, but it's not my favorite,
Right.
you know? I think Superman 2 is the best Superman movie, but it's not my favorite because obviously it's Quest for Peace. But, I had to get Superman in there at least once. And then, of course, Seth, wrap this up for us in a nice tight bow. Because next week we're talking about Cabin Fever.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Cool.
Somebody requested, you or Jared, I don't remember.
I requested it. I didn't know if we were switching because I thought, yeah.
Is it next week or the week after?
I don't remember. Maybe it is next week because I think originally you were going to do The Thing, then we were going to do In the Mouth of Madness, and then Cabin Fever.
Well, Nate's not going to be on one of the shows.
Right.
And
He
whatever
wants,
show he's, yeah.
yeah, he wants to do In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever, I'm down for both of them.
We'll
All
figure
the
it out.
confusion.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. My final thoughts are, like you guys said, it's definitely, you could argue that it's his best made movie, and just totally from a technical standpoint of the way the film is shot, and the score, the acting, and the overall effect that movie really has. It really really brings out the um fuck, I'm brain farting now too. It's
Definitely
contagious.
time to wrap it up.
It's contagious.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just really kind of captured the mood that the characters are feeling, and kind of projects that onto the audience with the way that it's structured, shot, and scored. And it was great seeing it on the big screen. Um, I had a lot of fun with it, and if you guys haven't, I would definitely recommend reading the source material. Um, and Evil Dies Tonight.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I did get the chance to read that last summer. I read it while I was on my lunch breaks at work because my brother-in-law actually bought it, and it's like, if you like the thing, you got to read the book. I'm like, well, give it to me then, so I'll read it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining anybody who watches or watched, anybody who subscribed or shared. I appreciate all that. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit and listening to us talk about the thing. Next week, I think we're talking about Cabin Fever. I'm not 100% sure, but we're also going to have a pancake luncheon, if that makes any sense to anybody who knows anything about Cabin Fever.
Pancakes.
Pancakes. Everybody knows not to sit next to Dennis. Okay. So if you see
Now that's my problem. Fence the rifle.
Anyway, it's Eli Roth's first feature-length movie, as far as I know. I have a good story. If you've ever watched the commentary, which I suggest, because Eli Roth is actually pretty funny. He talks about the things that bothered him when he was growing up. He couldn't handle gore. He said that when he went and saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, the end when the faces were melting after the Ark of the Covenant was open, he said he got up, walked out into the middle aisle of the theater, and started throwing up. So I was like, that's awesome to admit that. Yeah. So anyway, next week again, don't sit next to Dennis. We'll be talking about Cabin Fever, probably, or In the Mouth of Madness, one of the two. So
He is not your friend.
yeah, read up on your Sutter Kane and watch Cabin Fever. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, so I got my DVD from when it first came out, and I can't wait to tell the story of how I came to watch that movie, because it was between that and Underworld. Remember Underworld? Kate Beckinsale, yeah. Anyway, everybody have a great night. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next Wednesday for some pancakes.
She's still hot.
Who?
Kate
Kate
Beckinsale.
Beckinsale? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have some dreams tonight.